Hello everyone, let's get back again to computer studies. Today we are starting with chapter 2, that is History and Evolution of Computers. We will study this chapter in 3 parts. Let's start with part 1. We are using different types of computers, smartphones, laptops these days. These things took centuries to come into existence, and so many people were involved and are involved in the development of this kind of mechanism. In this chapter, we will study step by step from where we started and where we are working just now or where we landed. The journey of evolution of computer begins from here. This is abacus. Abacus is earliest known device which was used for calculation. The picture here which you are seeing is an ancient abacus. Abacus is used to perform mathematical calculations. In 1642, Blaise Pascal developed the first basic calculator which would do only limited jobs. These are the two photos of basic calculator which Blaise Pascal had developed. After 48 years in 1690, Leibniz developed a machine that can perform addition, subtraction, multiplication, division and calculate square roots. However, in all machines, the instructions were hard-coded into the machine and could not be changed once written. Today, while using calculator, we clear the screen. We use AC button or C button, right? If you are typing something in the calculator and if you want to erase that, either you press AC button or C button. But here there was no AC or C buttons. Everything was hard-coded. It used mechanical energy. Work was done totally manually. There was no battery, no solar energy, nothing. The person which you are seeing over here is Leibniz. He was one of the great thinker of 17th century and is known as last universal genius. Charles Babbage. We all are very much familiar with this name. We all have mugged up, हमने रट्टा मार लिया that Charles Babbage is known as father of computers, but actually Charles Babbage had never seen a computer. He was so unlucky that throughout his life he never saw a computer. A question arises that why he is known as the father of the computer if he has not seen a computer in his whole life. The answer is, in 1822 he designed a thing called difference engine. In 1822 there was no electricity, so whatever he designed was manual, while today's computers they work on electricity. After 11 years, Charles Babbage changed the design of the differential engine and made another thing called analytical engine. This analytical engine's mechanism provided the base for the technology of the modern days, that is today's computers, and this is why he is known as the father of computer. These are the pictures of difference engine and analytical engine. See. Okay, this analytical engine had an arithmetic unit to perform calculations and mechanism to store results and instructions. Okay, it is amazing that without electricity also and without memory, there was mechanism to store information and results. The technology of the analytical engine provided base to the technology of modern computers. That is why Charles Babbage is known as the father of modern computers. During late 1940s, John von Neumann found a way to encode instructions in language. He was the force behind the development of stored program concept. Okay, in 1940s, electricity was already invented. So the devices which he has made were working on electric power supply. Now, as we read earlier that this man encoded instructions in language, and as we know that computer does not know any language like English, Gujarati, Hindi, Marathi, Tamil. It knows and understands only one language, that is binary language, which is made up of zeros and ones. So this is the person who found this language. So this John von Neumann, he is a person who found this binary language. Another thing he developed was the stored program concept. That means you can develop a program and install it in a computer. You do not have to write the instructions again and again. It is called stored program concept. For example, we even use this concept every day in our mobile phone or PC or laptop. Whichever program we want to use, we install it and use it any number of times. We do not install it every time we use. Suppose मैंने WhatsApp डाउनलोड किया एक बार, उसके बाद मैं उसको जितनी बार चाहे यूज़ कर सकती हूँ. I do not need to install it every time. This concept is called stored program concept. Now, finally, in 1946, the first ever computer was invented. These people in the photo, Pritzker Eckert and John Mauchly, invented giant ENIAC. ENIAC, you have heard of ENIAC. It is the first ever made computer, the biggest computer. See, this is the ENIAC. ENIAC was developed at University of Pennsylvania. ENIAC is short form of Electrical Numerical Integrator and Calculator. It was the first machine to use large number of vacuum tubes. ENIAC was very big in size, almost the size of a room. The machine required a lot of space and energy to keep it cool. It used vacuum tubes to process data and do calculations. Vacuum tubes produced so much heat, so it was necessary to neutralize the temperature, and that is why it was need to cool. See, these are the vacuum tubes. Nowadays we use pen drives for input and output of data from the computer or phone or laptops. The storage capacity of pen drive varies from 1 GB to 64 GB, but nowadays 128 GB तक भी वो जाता है. Before pen drives, DVDs and CDs were used. The storage capacity of DVD is 4.7 GB and that of the CD is 650 to 700 MB. Before CDs and DVDs, the thing which was used for input and output was floppy disk. If you might have heard about floppy disk. Its storage capacity was only 1.4 MB. सिर्फ 1.4 MB उसकी capacity थी. And before that, punch cards were used. See, you can see in the picture over here. These are known as punch cards. The material which it is made up of, it was made up of is similar that of the postcard. Physical holes were made on it to store data on it, and you cannot change the data क्योंकि उसके अंदर holes बना देते थे. Once any data is entered in the punch card, it makes physical holes. The storage capacity was also very much less. In ENIAC, the instructions were to be fed into the machines through switches because there was no internal memory. We will continue learning the lesson in part 2.